Welcome to Crushed Husband. Please like the video and subscribe. Let's begin. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 38 years old and I live in the mountains of Colorado. The air here is thin, the skies are wide, and the quiet hums through the trees like a secret. I've lived in this house for nearly 5 years now. A work-in-progress mountain home that I've built with my own 2 hands, refurbishing, redesigning, sanding, and crafting every detail. The furniture I create is made to last, just like the integrity I hold on to. I'm an ex-firefighter turned custom furniture maker. I've traded in the adrenaline of running into burning buildings for the satisfaction of running my own workshop, creating beautiful pieces for people who appreciate hard work. But no matter how much I build, no matter how much care I put into each project, the walls of my home can't seem to protect me from the betrayal I'm about to uncover. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I'm underneath the kitchen sink, tightening a loose pipe. I know my wife, Julia, is on her way home. She's been working late all week. I can hear the crunch of gravel beneath the tires as her car pulls into the driveway. She walks in with a smile, her blonde hair tied in a loose ponytail, her work attire still crisp, despite the long day she must have had at the office. She's followed by Liam, her younger brother. The two of them laugh as they enter, the sound familiar but distant, as if it were someone else's life they were living. She always brings him around when things feel strained between us, like he's a distraction from whatever's brewing under the surface of our marriage. "Hey babe," she calls from the hallway. "I'm just going to grab my bag." I don't say anything right away. I keep working, keeping my focus on the task at hand. The sound of her heels against the floorboards carries through the house as she heads upstairs to drop her things. Liam is still talking in the kitchen, but his words blur in the background as I tighten the final turn of the wrench. And then I hear it. It's just, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Julia's voice is softer now, lower, almost like she's trying to keep it between her and Liam, but it's impossible for me not to hear it. I freeze, my hand still gripping the wrench, every muscle in my body tensing. "Ethan is good at fixing things," she says, voice tinged with the sharpness that had been growing in recent months. "But I'm not sure how much longer I want to fix us." Her words hang in the air, leaving a bitter taste on my tongue. I set the wrench down on the counter, my hands gripping the edge of the sink for support. My heart starts to beat in a way it never has before, not with excitement, not with adrenaline, but with dread, the ache of betrayal settling deep in my chest. He doesn't get it, Liam. He's too predictable. He thinks if he just fixes everything around him, it'll make up for what's missing. I can't do this anymore. Once I get this promotion, I'll have enough leverage to leave. I'll take half of everything, and maybe we'll both be better off. He'll be fine. He always is. But I'm not. Her words hit me like a freight train. They shatter the calm facade I've spent years building. I can barely breathe, my chest tightening as her voice trails off, replaced by the faint sound of Liam's response. But I don't hear it. "I'll take half of everything. Maybe we'll both be better off." I feel something cold run through me as I stand there, frozen in place. I can hear them moving around upstairs now, Liam's voice too far away for me to make out the words. But what Julia has said, that is crystal clear. I don't know how long I stay there, gripping the counter like a lifeline, unable to move, unable to breathe. The woman I've trusted, the woman I thought was my partner, the woman who promised me forever. She's planning to walk away from everything we've built together, everything we've worked for. The anger doesn't come right away. First, it's just a hollow emptiness that fills my chest, a numbness that I can't shake. But then, it bubbles up, cold and sharp, like something dangerous starting to wake inside me. I should confront her. I should walk upstairs right now, demand answers, scream if I have to. But I don't, not yet. Instead, I grab my phone. I open the bank app and start scrolling through our joint accounts, looking for anything unusual, anything that would give me a sign of where she's been hiding money, any secret accounts or withdrawals she's been making. Because I can feel it. This is just the beginning. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes, but I'm about to find out. I close my phone and take a deep breath, my mind already starting to work on the plan forming in my head. I won't confront her yet. I won't let her see my cards. Not until I have everything in place. Not until I can turn the tables. And when she's ready to leave, I'll be ready to stand my ground. But first, I have to keep up the perfect facade. I have to act like nothing's wrong, like everything is normal, because that's the only way I'll ever get the last laugh. That night, after dinner, I sit alone in my workshop, the steady hum of the overhead lights filling the silence around me. The clink of tools against wood, the scent of fresh sawdust, and the soft music I keep playing in the background. This is my refuge. This is where I go to clear my head, where I can focus on something real, something I control. But tonight, my thoughts keep drifting back to Julia's words. I'll take half of everything. I can't shake them. It's like they're branded into my mind, replaying in a loop, growing louder with every passing second. I grab my laptop from the workbench and start logging into our joint accounts. She thinks I'm oblivious. She thinks I don't notice when she sneaks off to client dinners or takes off for weekend retreats. But I'm not blind, and I'm damn sure not stupid. The screen glows as I pull up the first account, scrolling through the transactions. For the past few years, I've handled all of our finances. Julia's always been busy with her work, always pushing for promotions and climbing the ladder. But I've kept track of every dollar we've spent. It's always been me, managing our savings, making sure our bills get paid on time, tracking investments. But now, as I start to dig deeper, the numbers don't add up. Small, sneaky withdrawals, sometimes under her name, sometimes under some vague title, show up, disappearing like smoke into a black hole. I click through the records one by one, feeling my blood pressure rise with every new discovery. Another $2,000 to a personal shopping account. A couple thousand more to a credit card she claimed she'd already paid off. And then, I find it, the one that hits hardest. A transfer to a savings account, in her name only, one I didn't know about. She's been setting money aside, building a nest egg for herself while keeping me in the dark. I'm not sure what angers me more, the fact that she's been lying to me, or the fact that I didn't see it sooner. But as I keep scrolling, the anger starts to settle, replaced by a cold, controlled resolve. This is more than just about her affair or her plan to leave. This is about me protecting everything I've worked for, our home, the business I've built from scratch, the life we've created. I close the laptop and sit back in the chair, staring at the empty space in front of me. The sound of my breathing fills the room. It's clear now. She thinks I'm just some handyman, some guy who fixes leaks and builds furniture. But I'm not. I'm not a fool, and I'm not going to let her take everything without a fight. I reach for my phone and dial the number of the lawyer I met last year when I first considered the possibility of things falling apart. It rings 3 times before a calm, professional voice picks up. "Mr. Hayes, it's Ethan Cole. I need your help." I don't waste time explaining, just dive right into the facts. I give him a rundown of everything I've uncovered, Julia's secret account, the withdrawals, the plan she's been hiding behind my back. I tell him about her promotion at work, how I'm certain this is all part of her exit strategy. He listens quietly, then responds with the professionalism I need right now. "It sounds like you've got a strong case, Ethan. Let's start gathering the evidence. We'll get you prepared for whatever comes next." I hang up, my pulse still racing, but as the words echo in my head, "we'll get you prepared," I start to feel a flicker of control returning. This is just the beginning. I'll play my part in this marriage for as long as I need to. I'll be the perfect husband, the perfect provider, the perfect man on the outside. Julia will never know what's coming until it's too late. I stand up and walk toward the workbench. The wooden chair creaks beneath my weight as I sit back down, hands shaking just slightly as I grab a new piece of walnut. It's smooth under my fingers, warm, almost comforting. The simple act of carving calms my nerves. I focus on the grain of the wood, the edges, the curves. Each cut takes me closer to something real, something solid. I make my first pass with the chisel, the sharp blade sliding through the wood with a satisfying resistance. This is how I feel now, like I'm shaping my own future, one precise, calculated cut at a time. This isn't just about a marriage falling apart. It's about building something new. And right now, Julia doesn't even know she's about to lose everything she thought she could control. As the sound of the chisel biting into the wood fills the room, I feel a little lighter, a little more certain. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. The next day, I wake up early. The house is still quiet when I slip out of bed, careful not to disturb Julia, who's still sleeping soundly. The light from the early morning sun peeks through the blinds, casting soft shadows on the floorboards. I sit on the edge of the bed for a moment, just watching her. She looks peaceful, unaware of the storm that's coming. The woman who once held my trust now holds nothing but the promise of a calculated ending. I pull on a pair of jeans and grab a sweatshirt from the closet. The early morning chill of Colorado is refreshing, a crisp contrast to the warmth of the house I built with my own hands. It reminds me of how much I've sacrificed for this life. My firefighter's career, my safety, my time, everything I've done for this family, and now it's all falling apart. I need to be smart about this. It's not just about confronting Julia anymore. It's about securing my future, my business, and my peace of mind. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of destroying everything I've worked for. First things first. I need a lawyer, someone who can help me navigate the mess she's left behind. I grab my phone and dial the number of the lawyer, Robert Hayes, who I've been in touch with off and on for the past few years. It's time to make this official. He picks up on the second ring, his voice steady, calm. Ethan, how are you doing? I'm good, but I need your help with something. It's time to move forward. He listens as I explain the situation, not rushing to interrupt, but knowing I'm finally ready to make the break. The plan is simple: gather evidence, protect the assets, and ensure that when Julia makes her move, she won't have the upper hand. Hayes agrees to meet me later this week to go over the details. I'll prepare the paperwork, Ethan. We'll start the process of securing your assets, Hayes says, the professionalism in his voice a small comfort in a sea of uncertainty. Take your time, but don't wait too long. I won't, I reply, feeling a flicker of control begin to burn in my chest. I hang up, then sit quietly for a moment. I know I need to keep the facade up for now. I need Julia to think everything is normal, so she doesn't suspect what's coming. After I grab a quick breakfast, I make another call, this time to Dalton, a former sheriff's deputy I've hired as a private investigator. He's the kind of guy who's seen it all, the kind of guy who can dig into someone's life without raising an eyebrow. Dalton's voice is gruff, but steady. What's the job, Ethan? I need you to follow Julia. I need to know where she goes, who she talks to, everything. I think she's planning something. I need evidence of her affair, her financial activity, anything that will back up what I'm suspecting. There's a moment of silence on the other end, then he responds. Got it. I'll start the surveillance. Shouldn't be too hard to get the lay of the land. Thanks, I say. I need this to be clean, Dalton. No mistakes. I'm on it. I'll keep you updated. I end the call and sit back in my chair, staring at the wall. It feels like the beginning of something, but I'm not sure what yet. What I do know is this: I won't be the one left holding the broken pieces when it all falls apart. As the day wears on, I keep busy in my shop, trying to focus on the work at hand, carving and sanding wood. It's easier to lose myself in the rhythm of the work than to think about Julia's betrayal. Each stroke of the chisel is a small step away from the woman who thought she could control everything, and a small step toward taking back what's mine. But I don't get far into the project before she comes downstairs. Julia's voice, still warm from sleep, calls out from the kitchen. Hey babe, I'm sorry about last night. I just needed to get some things off my chest. I pause mid-sand, but don't look up. Instead, I force a smile to my face, the same smile I've worn for the past few years, the one she's used to seeing, the one that hides everything. Hey, don't worry about it, I say, my voice casual. I get it. She walks into the shop, her eyes scanning the work I've been doing. She knows how much I love this space, how much pride I take in it. She steps closer, her hand resting lightly on my shoulder. You've been working so hard lately. You never take breaks. I shrug, continuing to work on the piece in front of me. It helps me clear my head. Julia watches for a moment before turning to leave. Well, when you're done, let's have a quiet night. I'll make dinner. Sounds good, I reply. My voice is steady, controlled. But inside, I feel the weight of everything she's said, everything she's planning. I can't let her see that yet. I can't let her know that I'm already 2 steps ahead. Once she's gone, I get back to work, but my thoughts are racing. I've started the legal groundwork. I've got Dalton on her tail. Now, it's just a matter of time before everything comes to light. And when it does, she won't be prepared for what happens next. The days feel like they're stretching out longer than usual. Every time I close my eyes, I can't shake the thought of Julia's betrayal, her calculated plan to take half of everything. It's like a storm on the horizon, one that's slowly creeping closer, but I'm not about to let it drown me. I'll be ready when it hits. The surveillance starts immediately. Dalton, true to his word, begins shadowing Julia, tailing her during her client dinners, following her on weekends, documenting every moment. He's a ghost, a shadow. She doesn't know he's there, doesn't suspect that every move she makes is being watched. Meanwhile, I keep my focus on the business. I've got commissions piling up, orders that need to be filled, and a growing pile of receipts I'm going through in preparation for my next steps. The work is therapeutic. Every swing of the mallet, every precise cut of the saw, helps keep my mind from spiraling, but the storm is still there, waiting. Then, one evening, as I'm finishing up a new walnut table for a client, Dalton calls me. I've been expecting it, but when his name flashes on my phone, my heart still skips a beat. Ethan, Dalton's voice is low, but there's a slight edge to it. I've got some intel for you. Julia's been meeting with a guy. Same guy, every time. I've got photos. This guy isn't just a colleague either. They're more than just friendly. My stomach twists as I lean against the workbench. Who is he? His name's Martin, works in marketing at her firm. I've got them at dinner twice now, and they've been spending a lot of time together after hours. She's definitely keeping something from you. I run a hand over my jaw. So it's true. She's been seeing someone else. I always suspected it, but hearing it out loud feels like a punch to the gut. I swallow the bile rising in my throat. Send me the photos, I say, my voice calm, like I'm just talking about business. You got it. I'll drop them in your inbox tonight. He pauses before adding, there's more though. She's been withdrawing money from a separate account. Cash withdrawals, no records. You might want to look into that. I don't even flinch. It's exactly what I expected. I'll check, keep an eye on her, and let me know if you get anything else. Dalton's voice softens, just a little. I'm on it. Don't make any moves just yet, Ethan. Let's get everything lined up. I hang up and sit down at my desk, my fingers trembling as I open my laptop. The email from Dalton is already in my inbox. I click it open and scroll through the photos, each one a knife in my chest. Julia and Martin, laughing over dinner, their hands brushing as they reach for their wine glasses. Another shot shows them walking out of a bar, her hand resting on his arm. The affection is undeniable. I click through the rest of the files, documenting everything. The emails, the photos, the text messages from Julia. I've been saving since that night I overheard her plans. It's all coming together. She's been lying to me for months, probably longer. I've been the perfect husband, playing my role while she's been quietly planning her escape. But this is something I can use. I'm not going to let her get away with it, not without a fight. Later that evening, after dinner with Julia, I sit down at my workbench, my mind still spinning from everything I've learned. I've gathered all the information I need from the financial accounts and the surveillance photos. The pieces are finally coming together. The anger is there, but it's controlled, focused. It's not about revenge anymore. It's about making sure I come out on top. I start planning my next move. I won't confront her yet. Not until I have everything locked down. Not until I'm sure I have the upper hand. Dalton's report is clear, though. Julia is already meeting with her lawyer. She's setting up her exit strategy. It's only a matter of time before she tries to pull the trigger. But when she does, I'll be ready. I glance down at the walnut table, the soft glow of the overhead light catching the grain of the wood. It's almost finished. The last few strokes of the chisel are the most delicate, the most important, just like my plan. By the time Julia decides to make her move, it'll be too late. She won't see me coming, and when the dust settles, I'll be the one standing. The days start to blur together as I continue my preparations. The workbench is now a sanctuary of focus, where the weight of Julia's betrayal seems distant, almost irrelevant compared to the task at hand. My mind is clear when I'm sanding a table or carving out the legs of a new chair. It's like the world outside doesn't exist. But once I set the tools down and step into the reality of my life, everything comes crashing back. Julia is still acting like everything is fine. She asks how the projects are going, compliments me on the new pieces in the workshop. She even makes an effort to help out around the house, but I know her every move is calculated. She thinks she's getting away with it. She doesn't know that I'm 2 steps ahead, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. A few days after Dalton's report, I take action. I use an anonymous email account, something clean, something that can't be traced back to me, and I send a tip to the compliance department at Julia's firm. It's subtle, precise. No direct accusations, just a whisper of concern about potential ethical issues in their marketing department. A nudge, enough to raise an eyebrow without outright lying. Subject: concerns about internal practices. I'd like to bring to your attention some questionable activities I've noticed within your marketing division. Several transactions seem to have bypassed standard compliance checks, and there are concerns about the ethical standards of some of the team's practices. I believe this should be looked into before it becomes a more serious issue. I don't give specifics. I don't need to. Just the right amount of doubt to make sure her promotion gets delayed long enough to mess with her plans. I hit send, it's done. The next day, as expected, I hear about it from Julia. She's in a bad mood, snapping at little things, her usual poise slipping just a little bit. "What's going on with your firm?" I ask casually over breakfast, my voice smooth and steady. "Heard there's some issue with the compliance department." She freezes, her fork halfway to her mouth. I watch her eyes flicker, the briefest flash of confusion before she masks it with a forced smile. "Oh, just some review stuff." "They're going over some financial reports," she says, setting her fork down and wiping her mouth. "It's nothing really." I nod, keeping my face neutral, but inside, I'm already savoring the taste of this first victory. Her promotion is now up in the air, tangled in a web of doubt, paperwork, and reviews. The complaint won't go unnoticed. It's enough to make the higher-ups second-guess their decision. Later that evening, as she heads out for one of her client dinners, I know where she's going. I've been tracking the locations and timing of these supposed work events. It's never about work. It's always about Martin. Her affair is no longer just a whisper. It's a concrete fact. But I'm not going to confront her yet. Not yet. Instead, I turn my attention to another move. My next play. I start moving money. I'm careful, methodical, nothing too drastic, just enough to secure my own future. I transfer a large portion of our joint savings into a trust account under my name, just a simple protective measure. It won't set off alarms, won't raise any suspicion. But when the time comes, when she tries to take everything, I'll be ready. The act itself feels almost mechanical. There's no guilt, no hesitation. This is just business, pure and simple. Julia has been playing her own game, but now the rules have changed. As I finish up with the transfers, I feel a strange sense of calm. I'm not doing this out of malice, but out of necessity. She's already made her decision. I'm just making sure I come out on top. No matter how this ends, I'll be the one standing with my hands clean. I take a deep breath and head to the workshop, where the quiet hum of my tools calls to me. The rhythmic motion of sanding, carving, and polishing pulls me into the work. I'm focused, a man of action, not words. I don't need to shout or confront. I'll let my actions speak for me. Julia gets home late, as usual. She's in a rush, too distracted to notice anything. As she passes through the workshop on her way upstairs, she glances at me, and I smile casually. "How was dinner?" I ask, keeping my tone light, like nothing has changed. "Busy," she replies, her voice tight, but she doesn't look me in the eye. "I'm heading to bed." "Okay," I say, already turning back to my work. "Good night." I hear the familiar sound of her footsteps retreating upstairs, but there's no comfort in it. I'm not waiting for some moment of catharsis. I'm not waiting for her apology or confrontation. I'm just waiting for the right moment to strike. The days slip by slowly, each one carrying me closer to the inevitable confrontation. Julia's promotion is still on hold, the investigation hanging over her like a cloud she can't shake. She's more on edge now, her attempts at appearing normal increasingly forced. I can see through it, see the cracks forming in the perfect image she's been trying to maintain, but I don't react. I don't give her the satisfaction of knowing that I see it. I keep up the facade, maintaining the illusion of the perfect husband. I do my part around the house. I ask how her day was. I listen to her complaints about work, nodding in all the right places. But inside, it's a different story. Inside, I'm counting the days, planning each move with precision. She won't see it coming, but when it happens, it'll be like a quiet storm crashing into her life. By the end of the week, things start to feel different. Julia seems more distracted than usual, her eyes darting to her phone every few minutes, as if she's waiting for something. Or someone. I can't help but notice it, her constant checking, her tense posture when she's on calls. I don't need to spy on her anymore. I already know where she's been spending her time. The next day, Dalton calls with an update. His voice is terse, almost reluctant. "I've got more pictures for you, Ethan," he says, clearly not thrilled about it. "It's not just dinner dates anymore. I've got photos of her at a hotel, with him. They've been spending nights together." I lean back in my chair, the air in the workshop suddenly feeling thick. "What hotel?" "Downtown. It's been happening for weeks." They're serious. I exhale slowly, the familiar mix of anger and control washing over me. "Thanks, Dalton. Keep me updated. I hang up, the weight of his words pressing down on me. They're serious. For a moment, I sit there, staring at the half-finished table in front of me. I should feel something. Rage, betrayal, heartbreak, but I don't. It's like the emotions have been stripped away, leaving behind only cold, calculated clarity. I've been preparing for this. I knew this was coming, and now that I have the evidence, it's time to move forward. The following day, I subtly increase the tension between Julia and me. I make sure to ask pointed questions, to subtly needle her with suggestions about the promotion and her client dinners. Each comment I make seems to rattle her more than the last. Her response is becoming shorter, more defensive. It's almost like she's trying to avoid something, like she knows I'm onto her, but she doesn't know how much. That evening, after dinner, I leave my laptop open on the kitchen table, casually displaying the evidence I've been compiling, screenshots of her financial transactions, bank transfers, and the photos from Dalton. I don't make a big deal out of it. I just leave it there, letting it sit like a quiet bomb, waiting for her to see it. A few hours later, Julia walks into the kitchen after a shower, her hair damp and loosely tied back. She glances at the table, her eyes falling immediately on the open laptop. The air between us thickens as she sees what's there. Her face goes pale, her eyes flickering to me in a mixture of shock and confusion. I keep my expression neutral, my hands casually folded in front of me. I didn't, Ethan, this isn't what you think, she stammers, her voice high and shaky. It's the first crack I've seen in her perfect facade. I don't say anything. I just sit there, watching her, letting the silence stretch between us. She looks back at the screen, and her breath catches when she sees the photo of her and Martin at the hotel. Julia, I say, my voice calm, measured, almost too calm. How long were you planning on keeping this from me? Her eyes dart to the door, then back at the table, her mind clearly racing. Ethan, please. I didn't mean for it to get like this. I swear, I never wanted to hurt you. I lean forward slightly, my eyes never leaving hers. You didn't want to hurt me? Is that why you've been hiding money in secret accounts? Is that why you've been sneaking around with him? Did you think I wouldn't find out? Tears well in her eyes, but she doesn't cry. Not yet. I didn't know how to tell you. It's just, things haven't been right between us for a long time. I exhale slowly, standing up and walking toward the table. I gently close the laptop, the sound of the lid clicking shut echoing in the silence. Things haven't been right, Julia. You've been lying to me for months. And now, you're making excuses. I turn away, feeling the weight of everything shift inside me. The anger is still there, but it feels distant now. What I'm doing isn't about anger. It's about survival. It's about protecting what's mine. I've been preparing for this, I say, my voice steady. And now, so have you. I walk toward the door, then pause, my hand on the handle. You're not getting out of this that easily, Julia. I'm not just going to sit back and let you take everything from me. You'll get your lawyer, and I'll get mine. Her voice cracks as she tries to call after me. Ethan, please don't do this. We can fix this. Just talk to me. I don't turn around. I just step outside, the cold air filling my lungs, and close the door behind me. I won't be the fool anymore, and I'll make sure Julia knows it. Later that night, I get a call from Dalton. It's not good news. They're moving fast, Ethan. Julia's already contacted a high-powered divorce attorney. They're preparing for battle. She's got her ducks in a row. I exhale slowly, rubbing my eyes. I've been preparing for this moment for weeks, but hearing it makes everything feel real. I know, I reply, my voice tight. But she's not going to win. Not this time. Dalton pauses for a moment. You're sure about that? Absolutely. The sound of his approval is quiet but comforting. We'll make sure you're ready for whatever comes next. And with that, I feel the last bit of uncertainty slip away. There's no turning back now. Julia doesn't speak to me the next morning. I wake up to the empty quiet of our bedroom, the space between us thick with the unsaid. She's gone by the time I drag myself out of bed, probably heading to work, maybe to meet Martin for one of their client meetings. The thought stings, but I don't let it show. I spend the morning cleaning up the kitchen, putting my mind to simple tasks as I wait for the right moment. I know she's going to be home later, and when she does, it's going to be the moment I confront her. It's time to stop playing games. By noon, I hear her car pulling into the driveway. The house feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for her to come inside. I stand by the window, watching her approach, knowing this is the last time I'll look at her without everything changing. She enters through the door, her eyes scanning the house before they land on me. She hesitates for a moment, then forces a smile, as though nothing is wrong, as though I don't already know everything. "Ethan," she says, her voice stiff, but she tries to sound normal. "How's your day been?" I don't respond immediately. Instead, I nod toward the dining table where I've set everything out. The documents, the bank statements, the photos from Dalton. It's all there, laid out for her to see. "Sit down, Julia," I say, my voice calm but firm. "We need to talk." Her gaze flickers over the papers, and she slowly walks toward the table. Her lips pressed together in a tight line, but she doesn't say anything yet. She knows what's coming. She sits across from me, and I finally meet her eyes. I can see the fear in them, the realization that her carefully crafted world is falling apart. But there's something else too, a hint of defiance, as if she still thinks she can talk her way out of it. "What is all of this?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. "This," I say, sliding the bank statements toward her, "is what you've been doing behind my back, taking money from our joint accounts, setting up secret savings accounts, lying about your whereabouts, and spending time with someone else. This is the man you've been meeting with." I push the photo of her and Martin across the table. Her face pales as she picks up the photo, her fingers trembling. Her eyes dart between the image of Martin and me, but she doesn't speak. "I know about everything, Julia," I continue, my voice steady. "The affair, the money, the lies. You've been planning this for months, haven't you? You've been setting up your exit strategy, and you thought I wouldn't find out. But I did." Her eyes snap up to mine, and for a moment, she looks almost guilty. But it quickly fades, replaced by a defensive mask. "You don't understand, Ethan," she says, her voice tight. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen. It just did. I wasn't happy. And when I found someone who made me feel alive again, I couldn't ignore it." I lean forward, my heart pounding with a strange mixture of anger and calm. "You couldn't ignore it? So you thought leaving me was the answer? You thought lying to me, betraying me, was the way to solve your problems?" Her eyes fill with tears now, but they're not the ones I expected. They're not ones of guilt. They're the kind that are meant to manipulate, to twist the situation into one where she's the victim. "I never wanted to hurt you," she whispers, her voice shaking. "I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know what to do. But when I got the promotion, I thought it was time. I was ready to move on, to be with someone who could make me happy. You're a good man, Ethan, but I've been suffocating. You don't get it." I stand up, the movement sharp and quick. "No, Julia, you don't get it. You don't get how much I've sacrificed. You don't get how hard I've worked for this life, for you. And you sure as hell don't get how easy it is for you to just walk away from everything we've built. You think you're the only one who's been struggling?" She recoils as if my words have physically struck her. "What do you mean?" she asks, her voice barely above a whisper. I stare down at her, my emotions finally breaking through the calm facade I've been holding up for weeks. "I left my career, Julia. I left a job I loved, a life that mattered, to build this house, to build a future with you. I gave up everything for this marriage, and now, here you are, throwing it all away for a man you can't even commit to. Do you think I'm just going to let you take everything I've worked for?" Her gaze shifts to the papers in front of her. Her face hardens, but I can see the cracks forming. She's not sure how to respond. How can she? I take a deep breath, the anger slowly fading as I realize the moment has come. This is it, the turning point. "I've been talking to a lawyer," I say, my voice cold now. "I've secured our assets. I've moved a portion of our savings into a trust. If you want to leave, you can, but you're not taking half of everything. I won't let you." Her mouth opens, but no words come out. She looks like she's been slapped, like the rug has been pulled out from under her. "You think you can stop me? You think you can just take everything from me?" She finally spits, her voice shaking with fury. I smile, but it's not a kind one. "I'm not taking anything, Julia. You made this choice, and now you'll have to live with it. You'll get what you're entitled to, but you won't walk away with everything you thought you would." Her chest rises and falls with rapid breaths, and for a long moment, we just stare at each other across the table. It's as though we've crossed an invisible line, and now there's no going back. The marriage, the trust, the life we built. It's all disintegrating in front of us. Finally, Julia stands up, her hands shaking as she grabs her purse from the chair. "I can't believe you're doing this," she says, her voice low, almost pleading. "I thought you'd fight for me, for us." I don't respond. I don't need to. There's nothing left to fight for. She's already made her decision. Now, I'm just making sure she doesn't walk away with everything. She heads for the door, her back stiff, but I know she's not done. She'll be back. And when she does, it'll be a different fight. For now, I'm ready. The battle has begun. As she walks out, I sit back down at the table, staring at the mess we've created. The house feels too big, too empty now. But I know I'm not the one walking away from it. I'm the one who's going to make sure I'm not left with nothing. The next few days are a blur of legal calls, meetings with my lawyer, and silence between Julia and me. The air in the house is thick, suffocating. I sleep in the guest bedroom, knowing full well that this is the end of something that once seemed unbreakable. Julia keeps to herself, her every move deliberate but distant. I know she's trying to figure out how to play her hand, how to salvage whatever she can. But she's not in control anymore. She's made her move, and now it's my turn to take the reins. My lawyer, Robert Hayes, has been working quickly. He's sent Julia's lawyer a draft of the preliminary settlement, outlining how the division of assets will play out. I've made sure to protect my business, my home, and anything I've worked for over the past few years. The house is still ours for now, but I'm preparing for the possibility that Julia might try to force a sale. It's clear she's not going to give up without a fight. I don't have much time to dwell on it, though. My phone buzzes in my pocket, the notification flashing with a name I recognize, Julia's lawyer. I take a deep breath and answer it, feeling the knot in my stomach tighten. Mr. Cole? The voice on the other end is professional, cold. This is Heather Carlson. I'm representing Mrs. Cole in the matter of her divorce from you. I know who you are, I reply, my voice tight but not hostile. What's this about? We've reviewed the preliminary settlement you sent over. Mrs. Cole is not satisfied with the terms. She's requesting a 50-50 split, including the business and all joint assets. She also wants the house. I swallow the lump in my throat. She's delusional if she thinks I'm going to give her that much. The business isn't up for grabs. There's a long pause on the other end, and then she speaks again, her tone softer but no less firm. I understand your position, Mr. Cole, but you need to understand hers as well. She's entitled to a fair share of the marital assets, including the property and business you've built together. I lean back in my chair, staring out the window at the distant mountain peaks. The house, the business, everything that I've built, it all feels like it's hanging in the balance now, teetering on the edge of being ripped away. I know I can't let that happen. You're asking for a lot, I say slowly. And you're going to find that I'm not an easy target. I've already secured my assets. I won't be pressured into giving up what's mine. Heather sighs, the sound thick with resignation. You'll need to meet in the middle, Mr. Cole. Divorce is never easy, but it doesn't have to be a war. A 50-50 split is reasonable given the circumstances. Mrs. Cole has agreed to a mediated settlement, but we need your cooperation to move forward. Cooperation? I almost laugh, but the sound is bitter. She betrayed me. She had an affair, lied to me for months, and now she wants everything. I don't think we're going to meet in the middle on this. Mr. Cole, please, Heather says, her tone softening. I'm just the messenger here. The only way this gets resolved without going to court is if both parties are willing to compromise. Mrs. Cole is asking for what's fair, considering everything she's invested in this marriage. My jaw clenches. What's fair? She's been planning her escape while I've been working myself into the ground, covering for her failures and helping her chase her career. I'm not going to give her an inch. I'm not giving up my business or the house, I say firmly. If she wants to fight, we'll fight. But I'm not going to let her walk away with everything, not after what she's done. There's silence on the other end of the line before Heather responds, her voice steady once again. I'll pass that along to her. But I'll be honest, Mr. Cole, if you want to avoid a long, expensive court battle, you might want to reconsider your stance. This could get ugly. I'm not afraid of ugly, I reply, my voice hardening. If she wants to play dirty, I'll meet her there. But she's not taking what's mine, and she's not going to walk away thinking she got away with anything. The call ends with a cold click, and I sit there for a long moment, letting the tension roll through me. I can feel the weight of everything pressing down, but there's something else, something sharper beneath the surface, a sense of determination. I'm not going to let her win. I won't back down, not now. A few days later, I'm sitting in the conference room of my lawyer's office, the papers spread out in front of me. Robert Hayes is across from me, his face stoic, but I can see the weariness in his eyes. The stress of the case is starting to show, but I know he's good at what he does. "Ethan," Robert says, his voice low, "Julia's lawyer is pressing hard for a settlement. She's determined to get half, and they're making threats about going public with her accusations if we don't agree to their terms. It's a tactic. They're trying to force you into a corner." I lean back in my chair, folding my arms across my chest. I won't be cornered. I'll fight her on everything if I have to. I'm not letting her take everything. "I know," Robert says, nodding. "But remember, a long legal battle can be costly. And it won't be just your assets at stake. It could affect your reputation, your business, and your future. We need to find a middle ground, or this could get very messy." I take a deep breath, staring at the papers in front of me. I know Robert's right, but the thought of giving Julia anything after what she's done, makes my blood boil. "I don't want to back down," I say quietly, my voice barely a whisper. "But I don't want this to drag on either. We'll settle, but on my terms." Robert gives a small nod of approval. "We'll make sure she doesn't take you for everything. I'll work on a counteroffer." The weight in my chest doesn't lift, but there's a flicker of hope now, a sliver of light in the darkness. I'm not just fighting for the things I've built. I'm fighting for the respect I've earned, the life I've fought to create. As I walk out of the lawyer's office, I know the worst is still ahead. But whatever comes next, I won't be the one who loses. Julia's plan to take everything from me is crumbling, and I'm about to make sure it stays that way. It's been a week since the last confrontation. Since I shut the door on Julia, leaving her standing there with the realization that her perfect plan is no longer a certainty. The house feels different now, more hollow, more empty, like a shell with nothing inside. I sit in the workshop, surrounded by half-finished projects, wooden chairs, tables, a rocking chair that I've been meticulously carving for the past few days. The rhythmic motion of sanding and shaping the wood is soothing, but it's not enough to drown out the tension that hangs over me. The legal process is moving forward, slowly but surely. Robert Hayes is handling the negotiations, sending and receiving offers, but I can tell the settlement won't come easy. Julia's lawyer is still pushing for a split that feels more like a complete dismantling of everything I've worked for. And Julia? She's not backing down. Every time I think about what she's done, what she's willing to do, it eats at me. But I've come too far to let my emotions take control. I've been methodical, precise. I'll make sure she doesn't get away with it. But deep down, a small part of me wonders, what now? I'm jolted out of my thoughts when my phone buzzes. It's a text from Robert. We're at an impasse. She's dug in her heels. "Are you still holding firm on the terms?" I don't even hesitate. Absolutely. I put the phone down and return to the table in front of me, the wood grain smooth beneath my fingertips. But my mind is somewhere else, somewhere distant. The house, the divorce, Julia's affair. It's all become a swirling mess of half-thoughts and unanswered questions. The front door creaks open, and I hear the sound of Julia's voice from upstairs. She's speaking to someone, but I can't make out the words. A few moments later, I hear footsteps coming down the hall. I know who it is before I even look up. She stops in the doorway of the workshop, her face pale, eyes tired but determined. She hasn't spoken to me much since that night. The nights are cold and silent, and the space between us is too big to bridge. Yet here she is, standing in front of me. "You're really going through with this, aren't you?" she asks, her voice strained, though she's trying to mask it. "You really think you can just take everything from me?" I don't respond right away. I let her words hang in the air for a moment, feeling the weight of them, before I finally meet her gaze. "I'm not taking anything, Julia. I'm just protecting what's mine." She looks at me for a long moment, her eyes flickering with a mix of hurt, anger, and something else I can't quite place. "I didn't want it to end like this. I never thought you'd be so cold about it." Cold? The word stings, but it's nothing compared to the coldness I've felt from her these past few months. The lies, the secrecy, the affair, the way she thought she could walk all over me. I stand up slowly, pushing the chair back and walking toward her. "You didn't want it to end like this? You didn't want to be caught? You didn't want to be exposed for everything you've done?" My voice is steady, but there's an edge to it now. The emotions I've been holding in for weeks are finally bubbling to the surface. "You're the one who set this in motion, not me." Her face hardens, but her hands tremble slightly as she crosses her arms. You always think you know what's best for everyone, always trying to fix things, always doing what you think is right. But maybe I don't need fixing. Maybe I just need to be happy. Her words cut through me, but I won't let her see it. You don't need fixing, Julia. You need to face what you've done. You can't just walk away from this and expect everything to be fine. You can't tear apart our lives and think there won't be consequences. She opens her mouth to respond, but no words come out. For a moment, she stands there, silent, her eyes brimming with something that almost looks like regret. But it's fleeting. Finally, she takes a deep breath and drops her arms to her sides. I've already talked to my lawyer. I'm not backing down, Ethan. I'm getting what I deserve. I know this is coming, but it still stings. The finality of it. Her decision to go through with the divorce, to take everything and leave me with the wreckage. Then we'll see you in court, I say, my voice calm again. But I'm not giving up without a fight. She looks at me one last time before turning to leave, her footsteps echoing as she walks down the hallway. The door clicks shut behind her, and I'm left standing there, a hollow feeling settling in my chest. That night, after she's gone to bed, her side of the room cold and untouched, just like the rest of us, I sit alone in the living room. The house feels even emptier than it did before. The quiet presses down on me, suffocating, until the only thing I can hear is the sound of my own breathing. I can't sleep. I don't want to sleep. The battle has begun, but I can feel the weight of what's coming. The legal fight, the emotional toll, the financial strain. And yet, a part of me knows this is the only way. This is the only choice I have left. I won't be the man who's left holding the broken pieces while Julia walks away with everything. I will fight for what's mine. I will fight for myself. The future is uncertain, but as I sit in the dim light of the living room, the only thing I know for sure is that I'm not going to lose. Not this time. It's been a few months since that night, since everything came crashing down. The divorce proceedings dragged on longer than I thought they would. There were days I felt like I was just going through the motions, waiting for the inevitable final decision, the final paperwork. I thought I'd feel relief when it was over, but instead, I felt emptiness, a hollow space left where something once meaningful had been. Julia and I settled eventually. The assets were divided, fairly, though I wouldn't call it just. She took her share and moved out, leaving me with the house. The business remained intact. I kept everything I had worked for, but the emotional toll was heavier than I expected. I never wanted to be that person, the one who had to fight to keep what was his. But it turned out that was the only way to protect myself from the devastation Julia had left behind. I've spent the last few months rebuilding, not just the house or the business, but myself, slowly, piece by piece. The work was the easy part. It was what I knew, what I could control. Creating new furniture, redesigning spaces, sculpting wood to my will. It all felt like therapy. Each new project was a step forward. Each carving and cut away to channel my frustration, my pain, my uncertainty into something real, something lasting. The shop is busier now. Business has picked up. I've taken on more commissions, working day and night, not out of desperation, but because it feels good. It feels like I'm getting somewhere again. The house, too, is coming along. It was never meant to be a shared dream anyway. Not anymore. It's mine now, my sanctuary, my refuge. I sit at the kitchen table one morning, a cup of coffee in my hand, staring out the window at the mountain peaks. The early light is soft, casting long shadows on the ground. Everything feels still, peaceful even. For the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm on solid ground. No more lies, no more secret accounts or hidden affairs, no more pretending. I'm alone, yes, but for the first time in years, it's by choice. I'm not running from anything anymore. There's a knock on the door. It's a sound I've become accustomed to, the kind that brings both welcome and dread. I walk to the front door and open it. Standing there, a little hesitant but with a genuine smile, is Dalton, the PI who's been keeping tabs on Julia for months, the one who helped me uncover everything. "Hey, Ethan," he says, looking down at the floor for a moment before meeting my eyes. I thought I'd check in, make sure you're doing okay." I offer him a small smile and step back, motioning for him to come inside. "Yeah, I'm doing all right. Come on in." We sit at the kitchen table, the same place I've spent so many nights staring out at the world, trying to make sense of everything. Dalton's the kind of guy who doesn't talk much, But when he does, it's always to the point. "So, things are looking up?" he asks, his eyes scanning the room. "Business seems solid." "It's good," I reply, nodding. "Things are picking up, keeping busy." He's quiet for a moment before leaning back in his chair. "I heard from a mutual acquaintance. Julia's been, well, she's been having a rough time. Things aren't going how she thought they would." I don't feel anything when he says it. No satisfaction, no pleasure. I just nod, like I'm hearing about someone else's life. "That's her problem now," I say, taking a sip of my coffee. "I'm done with her. Whatever she does or doesn't do, it's no longer my business." Dalton looks at me, his eyes sharp. "Good to hear. I've been keeping an eye on her just in case. And, well, she's been a little more desperate lately. No one's quite as happy as they pretend to be." "I figured," I reply, leaning back in my chair. "She always thought she could walk away from everything without consequences. But she's the one left dealing with the aftermath now, not me." We sit in silence for a moment, and for the first time, I don't feel any anger, just a quiet, steady peace. "I've been thinking about it a lot," I say, my voice low. "I always thought that success or happiness came from what you build with someone, a family, a life together. But I've learned it's really about what you build for yourself, the things that matter, your work, your integrity, your own sense of peace. That's what's worth fighting for." Dalton nods, a small, understanding smile crossing his face. "It took you a while to get there, huh?" "Yeah, a long while," I admit. "But I'm here now." I walk him to the door, and before he leaves, he turns to me with a look that almost feels like pride. "You've got this, Ethan. You've got everything you need to keep moving forward. Don't look back." I smile at him, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I've finally made it. "Thanks, Dalton." As the door shuts behind me, I stand there for a moment, breathing in the cool mountain air. The place feels quieter than before. No tension, no fear, no unresolved questions. Just calm, just stillness. I walk back to the kitchen, sit down at the table, and look out at the mountains again. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I've built something worth keeping. This house, this life, this business. It's mine now. And that's enough. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I've found the foundation I've been searching for. Not the one I thought I needed, but the one I created for myself. A new beginning. A future I'm building, piece by piece. And I'm not afraid of it. Not anymore. As the sun sets behind the peaks, I can see the horizon more clearly than ever before. And for the first time, it feels like I'm in control. My future is mine to shape.